Welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. We're having some fun today. Political season has started. And we do not have another politician in the studio today. We have Pastor Ty Houghtaling from First Baptist Church, but it's political season, so and it's good for us because we get to meet all these different candidates that are running for office and get to know them a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great advantage for Artesia. I mean, we're a small market, so when we get guys in here that are running for governor, that's a big deal.
That's a good deal, and
yeah.
We'll see where that all goes. Well, big weekend is coming up for the church, and you were here last week telling us the plans were to have kind of your welcoming service this Sunday. Is everything still on track?
Everything's on track. Excited. We got some Cat 5 and Cat 6 being run, so that's a good sign.
You mean no Cat 7? No,
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Not yet. But cable being running through the ceiling, and so that we can do some live stream and get our internet presence back. And so we're excited about that. I know we have lots of members who are, at this stage in their life when they just need to watch it from home, watch our services and participate from home. And so we haven't been able to do that for about a month now. And so we're excited to get that going again, and looking forward to that. But Sunday morning is going to be our kind of official both back to church and celebration of our remodel completion, even though there's lots of punch list items that are not complete, but the vast majority is done. And so we're looking forward to Sunday morning, having just a little bit different service to celebrate a little bit together.
Yeah. It's when you start a project like this, anybody starts a project like this, you've got your ideas, then the architects come up with the drawings and the designs, and then you get with the contractors, and the contractors say, well, you can do this, but yeah, if you want that, it's going to be, and so you go through all of that, and then you see the construction, and everything gets, removed, and the old stuff gets, it's an interesting process, isn't it? What are some of the different things that you think about or emotions that you go through as these different phases take place?
Well, it's fascinating, and I'd never been a part of something quite this large, and of course this isn't a really large project. We've seen other facilities, buildings, churches in town undergo even more than what we did, but it is fascinating to see the architectural side and design elements when that meets with the nuts and bolts construction side and the contractors and their understanding of the engineered drawings and how you have to kind of cooperate, and there is some compromise. There's some things you really want and they're not feasible. There's some things that you didn't know you were capable of doing, and it's not as costly as you thought it was going to be. And so you get lots of emotions, both very high emotions of wow, and then some really, oh my gosh, what is going on here stuff. So
yeah,
been a great process. We've really stayed within our time frame. It was about a 6 to 9 month project, and we're in the 10th month. And we've really stayed within budget. We're going to be just over. Most people say, well, you're never under budget when you do this. But we're not radically or dramatically over budget. So that's been surprising and a nice surprise. And some of the things we found out we could do from the original design versus what we have now has been surprising. We completely updated our heating and cooling systems. And we had a chiller unit, a boiler chiller unit that uses water in pipes in the walls, and a great, very efficient unit, a really good unit, with the one exception: it just doesn't change quickly. And so our springtime and fall time, when you might be at 85 on any given Sunday or 45 on any given Sunday in temperature.
And sometimes on the same day.
And that's right. And start cold and end up hot.
Yeah.
And we just weren't unable to make adjustments quickly with that chiller unit, and so we've completely scrapped that. We sold off the major part of that and recouped a little bit of funds, and we've put in package units across the facility, and that's been a really nice upgrade for us. Now we have zones that we can control, and in the original designs we were really concerned that we wouldn't be able to get the air into the main sanctuary without some kind of a drop down, fur down vent system right in the the center of our sanctuary. And I know not everybody's been in our sanctuary, but we have a very vaulted high ceilings with wood, and it's a very eye-pleasing facility with design, and trying to picture in our minds a drop-down, fur-down vent system that was going to have to, in order to put in these package units, it just wasn't, we weren't real excited about that.
Right.
But as our engineers got together and we got with heating, cooling experts, we were able to not have to do that. And so that was a great surprise. We were able to use our existing vents, and so that's something that was one of those moments. It was like, yes, we don't have to do something we didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And cost-wise, it actually, things got better because we were able to use existing ductwork and those kinds of things. So, yeah, what a process. It's just been a lot of fun and frustrating and all the things that come with that.
Well, I think another area that people don't think about, but in this type of a project you have to, is like your lighting. Yep. And you go from light bulbs that have to be changed out with ladders and long sticks and stuff like that to, I'm sure, a lot of LED and type stuff. And
yeah, the technology, the lighting, the audio video elements, all these things are rapidly changing. We installed some LED lighting probably 5 years ago in one of our hallways just to be more efficient and get a little more light coverage. And those LEDs, lighting are already outdated, and it's already time to upgrade those again. And with that industry in particular, costs have gone down as LEDs so much more efficient, and it's just a better technology. So upgrading that, everything from ceiling tiles of your drop-down roof to lighting, all these elements that you save a little money, but you upgrade. So that's always a great surprise.
Yeah. So what's been the reaction so far? People come in. Have you seen a nice wow factor as folks are coming back in and seeing the
We really have. And for a long time, small changes were kind of the order of the day. And so now we've done some really dramatic changes inside our sanctuary. And of course, the outside, how quickly you adjust to the outside, and that's been interesting. People have been very complimentary of our outside improvements, putting all three of our buildings together with stucco and rock and some other elements. But the inside has been really dramatic. And so carpet, seating, the stage really got a makeover, both the actual stage that you stand on as well as just the backdrop where our baptistry is. And so it's been really refreshing, and people have been very excited, and they come in and they see the dramatic change, and you can just sense the excitement that comes with that.
Yeah, that's great. So in all the tear out phase, when everything's down to the bare bones, did you guys find anything interesting amongst the artifacts, if you will?
Yes and no. We didn't find anything really dramatic or interesting or surprising. What we found is we had a lot of stuff that we didn't need anymore.
Yeah.
And so we were able to really kind of go through a lot of things that are very aged and things that weren't meaningful or representative or symbolic of anything, just stuff. And so we've been able to kind of cull out a bunch of things and donate some things and give away some things. And so that's been good. And just getting rid of some things that you say, well, we're really never going to use that again.
That's right. Yeah.
So let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
Didn't know we had it.
Yeah.
Found it in the tear out, and so let's get rid of it.
Now that has everything moved back into the main sanctuary then, or you have any other services or functions in the Total Life Center?
We are still having our Sunday school classes in our Total Life Center. So at some point we had grown large enough that we needed to move some of our adult classes over to our Total Life Center for Sunday school, which we have plenty of classrooms in our TLC. And during the remodel, we moved everyone to the TLC just to be out of the way, to be safe, to ensure that you don't have any problems. And we're slowly moving our Sunday school classes back. And so our downstairs, the basement underneath our main sanctuary, we have multiple Sunday school classes, and we haven't quite moved back in there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that, we had to do a new grid system in the roof to adjust for a new sprinkler system, a new fire suppression system, and so some of those ceiling tiles haven't been replaced, and there's still just a little bit of work going on down there. And of course, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but we had a flood in our basement back last February when we had that real cold snap that came through. We had gone into our chiller system and began to remove that, and those pipes still had water in them. And we had that real cold snap that came through for 3 or 4 days where we had really, really cold temperatures, and we had a flood in our basement, which turned out to be a blessing, as God often works mysteriously. You're frustrated at first with about 14 inches of water in your basement, which destroys your drywall, it destroys carpet, it destroys any furniture. It was actually right up beneath our outlets, our electric outlets.
Oh, wow.
So it was really close to being a disaster, more so than a flood already was. But because of that, we were able to redo some things that weren't actually a part of our original remodel. And so we got to upgrade and do some things down in our basement for our Sunday school classes. So we're not quite moved back over there yet. Some classes are moving that way. They're getting their rooms set back up. And there actually may be a couple meeting this Sunday down there. But the vast majority are still over in our Total Life Center for our 9 o'clock to 10:15 Sunday school hour.
And that facility has proven to be very valuable during this whole remodel, because it was always very useful and there were a lot of great programs in there, but now it served another purpose for the last 9-10 months.
We've just had some really faithful congregants over the years, both in our financial area and in leadership, and prior to me and my time with First Baptist, and just really wise, really discerning folks who put aside some money over the years out of overage money and designated funds, and we did some little upgrades to the Total Life Center, things like a projector system and an audio video system that we weren't using a ton with the events that were happening there. Now, like the football banquet with our football team, we were able to show the highlight video and slideshow of the players and some of those things, and we did some city activities as different things would come through Artesia, and they needed a venue like that, but really didn't use it on a weekly basis. But we knew the day was coming that we would be remodeling the sanctuary, and we would need a place to worship. And so we purchased chairs, foldable, cushion chairs over the years out of some money that was here and there, and really prepared for this day. And what a blessing it's been for our church.
So go ahead and do the invitation again to this Sunday's services. This is kind of, I don't know if grand opening is the right term to use.
Somewhat of a grand opening.
Okay.
And, so we're gonna have normal times for First Baptist Church. So we'll have a 9 o'clock Sunday school hour, and we'll continue doing our Bible study with our small groups then. But at 10:15, we will kick off kind of Celebration Sunday with worship music, and guest speakers will be here to challenge us, and then we'll have some testimony time with members of the church, and all intermixed together. And so it'll be from 10:15 to 11:30 or so. Might go a little bit long this week if we get super excited about things, but it'll be a normally scheduled time, but it'll be a unique time as we celebrate the remodel.
That's fantastic. Anything else that we need to share with folks or talk about today?
We're just happy to be a part of Artesia, and we've got a long history as a church, and so we're glad to do things with our community. We're excited about our community, and if anybody has just not been to First Baptist before but has thought, well, I would like to try it out, this would be a great Sunday. There's going to be a lot of guests, and you won't feel awkward because there'll be lots of folks that will be guests, and we're inviting back former pastors and our architecture crew and our construction crews. I don't know how many will come, but they're all invited to come, and so the community is invited.
Are they talking
as well.
To each other again now? Are they?
There's times when they were yelling at each other, so they communicate well. Yes.
Oh, it has to be just an interesting and a fascinating process, and anybody that's in that business knows full well what is involved. And from the outside, we see the hole in the ground, or we see the tear down and the build up, or we see the final product. But it's quite a process, isn't it?
Quite a process. Had great crews, both from our architectural firm to our general contractor, and so we've just been really blessed at First Baptist.
I saw on the parking lot across the street the old sign that was on top of the awning in front of the entrance. What happened to that?
That actually went back to the original family that constructed that. So it was a metal welded signage that was done here locally back, I'm not even certain. It may have been all the way back to the late 1950s.
Wow.
And so the family that had donated that, we returned that to them.
Okay.
They no longer live here, and of course the guys who actually built the letters have passed on. So we returned that. So that was something we could do, and we were waiting on signage. That's one of the last items that we're kind of still waiting on to finish up. Our outside of our building will be some signage. But yeah, that really nice heavy letters that were designed. Yeah.
It was very unique and very, it served its purpose over
a lot
the
of years.
And that was good. I'm sure the family appreciated the thought of having it come back to them. So
yeah, very just a nice thing that we could do and kind of remember and memorialize some things that had occurred over the years. And that's always good when churches can do that, can remember God's faithfulness and the faithfulness of the people.
There you go. Pastor Ty Houghtaling, thank you so much for coming in today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Gene.
And we will see you Sunday.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. Thanks a lot.